Hello, and welcome to Auto News Now, the special NADA edition. I'm Jamie Butters, Executive Editor of Automotive News, and I'm here with Amy Wilson, our Retail Editor. We're standing in the Las Vegas Convention Center, where workers are busily setting up displays for the 2022 NADA show. This is our first time back. It's the first NADA show in 2 years and 1 month. We were here in the same convention center on Valentine's Day 2020, just before COVID really broke out all over America and shut down all the events, all the auto industry events. People are really excited to get back together, to see each other, to see their old friends. Is that what you're hearing from folks?
Oh yeah, I mean the virtual show a year ago was just not the same, and you just can't do business, you can't trade ideas the way you can in person.
So this year, I'm thinking about how when we used to go to auto shows, regular auto shows like Detroit and New York, it seems like for the last decade it was always an EV show. That most of everything they showed were EVs, and now here we are at NADA, and it's an EV show. Everyone's talking about EVs. What are you expecting to hear?
Yeah, I mean I think that's certainly a top, if not the top topic here. I mean dealers, they want to know more about what's coming their way, what they need to do to sell EVs, what kind of assistance they're going to get from their automakers to do so. How are their automakers going to distribute EVs, and what's going to change about the relationship with that? That's obviously a big topic after some of the news that we've seen lately.
One in particular being, of course, Ford Motor Company, a company you used to cover, I used to cover, we used to cover them together at NADA for different organizations. But of course, Ford Motor Company under CEO Jim Farley last week decided to split their EV business and their gas burning vehicle business. And now they want to take that to the retail level to actually have dealers have a different model for selling EVs than for selling traditional gas burning, F-150s and Explorers. What are you hearing anything yet? Early returns on what folks are thinking about that?
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of questions for Ford, and for dealers of other brands, they are going to ask similar questions of their brands. I mean, the key thing they want to know is, how does the model change? How does the profitability of the model change? How do the margins change? How does the control change? That's a huge one. Like, where is my place in this new enterprise?
Yeah, when I first heard that Jim Farley wanted Ford to set the prices and dealers to just sell them and get some sort of payment for doing the transactions, I thought, well, that's a non-starter. Dealers just don't accept that. But those that I've talked to say, well, let's see the details. Let's see what's actually going to be in the deal. So they're going to spend a few months, I guess they've said they're going to spend a few months trying to work out the details, do a lot of listening, and I'm sure Ford executives will be doing a lot of listening right here at NADA.
I'm sure they will. And from the dealer's perspective, it's a fine line they have to walk, because they do not want to be seen as too resistant of selling EVs and of this shift that is going on. In fact, it's a big agenda point for NADA to send the message that dealers embrace EVs, they're ready to sell them, and they can sell them as well or better than these direct sales models that the upstarts like Tesla and Rivian are going with.
Yeah, no, it's such a great point, Amy. The NADA really is getting behind EVs. They've got a special display section. I can't wait to find it. But here in one of these giant halls, really trying to give prominence to EVs, to vendors and other experts who can really help dealers navigate this change in the industry. It's only 2, 3, 4% in January of U.S. sales, but a lot of brands, a lot of automakers are expecting it to be 40, 50% by the end of the decade. That's going to be a big change.
Yeah, a huge change.
Before we go, I want to make sure we talk a little about hiring and retention. Mm-hmm. It's been a persistent problem for the industry, but such a crucial one now when it's hard to find employees for jobs in any business.
Yeah, I mean, when you have Target paying base pay of $24 an hour in some markets, dealers need to step it up on their pay, and they are. And it's putting cost pressure on the business. They do share that. I mean, it's happening at a time when they're enjoying enormous profits. So, that that's in their favor. But really to to be competitive, they're having to increase pay. They're playing around with pay plans and how they're structured, and retention is it's always been the Achilles heel of dealers. They just don't do a good job of retention. The turnover at dealerships is pretty dismal, and this kind of environment out here more broadly with hiring and unemployment is not going to be a help to that. So it'll be interesting, to see how they're talking and the ideas they're sharing with each other on how to solve some of those problems.
Is there anything else that we should talk about before we wrap it up?
I mean, I think it's just going to be a fun, busy, jam-packed next 4 days, and I'm sure we'll find new stories, and there'll be all kinds of things we didn't think we were going to be talking about that we'll end up talking about, and that's the fun of NADA.
Absolutely, absolutely. When thousands of newsmakers get together, sometimes news happens.
It does.
Okay, I'm Jamie Butters. This is Amy Wilson from NADA 2022 in Las Vegas for Auto News Now. Thank you.